I'll use my gavel. I'd like to call to order the North Aurora Village Board meeting of Monday, November 2nd, 2020. And we'll open with a silent prayer meditation. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have roll call, please.
Mayor Berman?
Here.
Trustee Carroll?
Here.
Trustee Curtis?
Here.
Trustee Gaffino?
Here.
Trustee Gately? Okay. He was just trying to call me, so I have a feeling his feed dropped.
Mark is joining back in there, Steve.
Okay, perfect. Let me know if it, and then I'll call the roll with him.
It still just says joining. I think he's hung up. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Trustee Lowry
Here.
and Trustee Martinez. Okay.
All right. The first one is a public hearing on a pre-annexation agreement. Mike?
Yeah, we just opened the public hearing for the item tonight, which is actually under regular business for approval. It's the third amendment to the pre-annexation agreement between Village of North Aurora Orchard Commons LLC and Metal Investment Partnership for a development to be known as the Orchard Commons. This will be an item that is actually up for vote under regular business, which has been new business.
Is there anyone to speak at the public hearing on this pre-annexation agreement? If not, we will call the public hearing closed. And our first item, our presentations, will be put off until our next meeting. So the next order of business is a proclamation, which I will read. This is National Apprenticeship Week. Whereas economic growth in the nation and the state of Illinois and the Village of North Aurora depends on the continued development of workers skilled in their chosen fields. And whereas apprenticeship programs help fill this need by providing the means for the development of skilled workers and the cultivation of pride in workmanship. And whereas registered apprenticeships are vital components of talent and development in many high demanding and high growth sectors, and are recognized as critical post-secondary education training for future employment. And whereas apprenticeship programs help enhance economic vitality and create a stronger economic environment by producing highly skilled and competitive workers. And whereas the Village of North Aurora recognizes the strength and leadership displayed by apprentices, which results from the dedication and generosity of sponsors and participating employers who provide meaningful education opportunities through on-the-job learning and related technical and academic instruction, which in turn serves to enhance the economic vitality of North Aurora. And whereas November 8th to the 14th of 2020 is being recognized as National Apprenticeship Week in North Aurora, the Village of North Aurora appreciates the positive impact that apprenticeships have on individuals and businesses, which helps to improve the workforce in North Aurora and grow our economy. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Dale Berman, Village President, and the Board of Trustees of North Aurora do hereby proclaim November 8th to the 14th of 2020 as National Apprenticeship Week in North Aurora, and ask all residents to recognize the purpose and values of apprenticeship training for the economic growth of North Aurora, dated the second day of November 2020. Dale Berman, Village President. Do you have any audience comments?
I do not see any, Mr. Berman.
All right, trustee comments? Consent agenda,
Motion approved.
Second.
discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis,
yes,
trustee Gafino,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
All right, under new business, we'll defer item number 1. Item number 2, Mr. Hannah?
Item number 2 is approval of our 2020 property tax levy estimate for the Village of North Aurora and the Messenger Public Library. The total tax extensions estimated to be available to the village this year due to the 2.3% CPI factor and the new construction within the village, which was estimated to be about 4.5 million on EAV basis. The estimated additional extensions available to the village are about $77,000. That would equate to a 3.09% increase over last year's extensions. If you add into the fact that we no longer have to levy for the library debt service, our last extension for that last year was $297,000. So in actuality, the total property taxes levied by the village with this proposed levy would actually be a decrease of about $220,000 from last year's extensions, a decrease of about 7.9% or about $45 per person, per household, I mean. This also includes the library's estimate, also in line with the villages of 3.09% versus last year's extensions. This is just the official levy estimate. The actual levy would be approved at the first meeting in December.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Well, I like the $45 less per home. That sounds good. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis,
yes,
trustee Gafino,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
Yes.
and trustee Lowry.
Yes.
And item number 3, approval of our salt purchase. We welcome tonight Brian. It's all yours, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Staff is requesting the approval of the salt purchase in the amount of $250,250 with an option of spending up to $288,750, which is 20% more of our order if we need it for severe weather conditions.
Motion to approve.
second,
Discussion.
Hey, Brian, what do we have in stock right now?
We're pretty full. We probably have around 2,300 tons. So we're gonna start full. We didn't
That's
quite
good.
use our 2,500 last year, so we actually were under last year.
That's great. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Let's hope we don't need it. Roll call.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis,
yes,
trustee Gafino,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Lowry.
Yes.
And item number 4, we have Mr. Young with us this evening. Paul, you're on.
Firstly, Paul doesn't seem to have audio tied to his call for some reason.
Call?
I don't know if he's in on his phone or if he's in through a computer, but he does not have any audio.
Oh.
Okay, well,
Well, Steve?
I will step in and be a poor man's Paul Young tonight. All right, so item number 4 on the agenda is the approval to waive bids and hire Lane Christensen for an estimated $150,000 to rehabilitate well 4. This is a project that's in the budget for maintenance that we do on our wells. We pull the pumps and motors after a certain amount of time, rehab them, and then we put them back into the ground. Just as a reminder, these wells are 1,300 feet deep, so it's not like they're right at the surface, so it's a big project. The type of motor that we use at well 4 is a Byron Jackson FlowServe pump and motor. Paul is recommending that we use Lane Christensen. And the waiving of the bids comes from the fact that they are, according to FlowServe, they are the only company that can provide the certified service for that type of pump and motor. There is I sent an email to the board to explain it further. What happens is there's basically 2 components. One is pulling the well, pulling the motor and the pump, and then it's rehabbing it. And then the second part, excuse me, I just butchered that. I'm gonna do it again. You pull the pump and the motor, and then you have to put it back in the ground. That's one aspect of the job. The second aspect of the job is to actually rehab the motor and the pump when it's out of the ground. You could technically go out to bid for a second company to do that, but the staff feels comfortable using the same company because if for any reason the rehab of the motor gets put into the ground and it doesn't work, it's going to be really hard to go after the contractors to determine who broke the motor or why the motor's not working. This way, if you have one company and you know they're a certified company to do that type of work already, you have the ability to go after them and all the terms of our contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Thank you, Paul. Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
Trustee Curtis,
yes,
Trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
and Trustee Lowry.
Yes.
Item number 5, Mr. Bosco, no, it's Mr. Toth. Or is it Mr. Bosco? Mr.
Oh,
Bosco.
it's me again. So item number 5 on the agenda is a supplemental entertainment liquor license, which is we have 2 different types of supplemental entertainment license. This is for a Class B. Basically what happened is Blue Agave Cantina Grill has a full liquor license, but their supplementals for entertainment. Right now they have a supplemental A, which only allows limited amplification and very small, basically single acoustic acts or having a radio and whatnot. What we found out is we were getting some noise complaints and about music late at night. And what we found out when we investigated a little bit was that we were also noticing that they were having larger entertainment acts than what is allowed by their liquor license. The liquor commissioner, the mayor, and staff met with the ownership of the restaurant and explained the discrepancy in which license they have and which license they need. They agreed they would apply for the Class B supplemental license. Usually supplemental licenses go directly to the liquor commissioner for signature. However, in our code, the supplemental B entertainment license, the first year it's issued to an establishment, it goes to the village board for a vote. And the reason it primarily is for this exact case. It's for noise concerns. This way it gives the full board the ability to discuss it before it's approved the first year. And then you can kind of see how it goes year and year after, and the liquor commissioner can issue it subsequently. It's part of the discussion with Blue Agave. They agreed in order to get the supplemental B, they agreed to the following conditions: that entertainment of bands and DJs and things of a louder nature would be allowed only 1 day a week, either on Friday and Saturday, or Friday or Saturday nights, and that's just till 10 p.m.
Motion to approve.
second,
Discussion?
So when it says larger groups, what does that mean?
It means basically bands, things with larger amplification.
No, that's not what it's is that what it's referring to? Because the way I read it is larger groups, meaning more people allowed there.
Oh, no. I guess it's both, but we're talking about a larger band or entertainment group.
A louder band? That's probably what it should read. It shouldn't say larger groups. That's very confusing. But to me, that means increasing the number of people that can be in there.
Well, it's larger groups of entertainments. I think that's what the ordinance says, right?
Well, what does that mean? I don't know what even that means. You can have 5 players instead of 3. What does that mean?
Yeah.
So in the supplemental entertainment A, it's limited to solo and duo performers using minimal sound amplification and may be issued by the liquor commissioner without regard to the number of licenses issued. The B supplemental entertainment license is for amplified entertainment provided by musicians, vocalists, DJs, comedians, and similar acts without regard to the number of performers, may be issued with board approval in the first year in which the license is sought.
Yeah, one
So
of
if the neighbors already didn't like the noise coming from there, so we're going to allow something larger there as long as it's one night a week
well, I think we're limiting the hours and
till
whatever.
10 o'clock. But
Well, that's, how the hell? 10 o'clock is, that's the middle of the day.
I'm already in bed by then. Man.
I know, some of those old people. One of the things they said they would do would be to install some soundproofing insulation, which could be a benefit also
That would be good.
from a noise standpoint. So, they said they would do that. We didn't put that into the ordinance, but I think that it sounds to me like they're willing to certainly try to do whatever they can to eliminate the problem.
Okay.
I think that this is pretty restrictive in my mind. 10
So who
o'clock.
monitors that then? The police?
Yeah.
But what do other, who else has this license in the village? Are they limited to 10 o'clock too?
No, as of right now, we don't have any other businesses that have the supplemental B. We only have 2 businesses that have the supplemental A.
So they're gonna have a band from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night?
Yes.
Correct. They would have to stop at 10 p.m. One night a week, every calendar week. So either a Friday or Saturday.
Was that the same for A when they had the A one? Was that 10 o'clock too, or can you go later?
No, there was no limitation on A. This 10 p.m. restriction is not part of the normal B license. This is an extension. This is something that, per our conversation with the ownership, that we said would be an additional restriction to limit noise in the community.
What's it normally?
Well, it's wide open.
Oh,
Well, here, I think like our curfew for underage people is 11 o'clock, right? On Friday or Saturday nights. Why would we restrict a business so severely? I get that there's noise complaints there, but I mean, we're really hamstringing this business by making them close down at 10 o'clock, live entertainment.
Well, what we're really doing is saying that, well, you got to close at 10, but they're going to push the envelope, and it is pretty confining. I'd like to see what we can do with the area of insulation that it would be eliminating some of the noise.
did they agree to the 10 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah.
My problem with this is it just seems so arbitrary, and we need to give our businesses every tool we can right now to help them recover and be successful. And I understand the noise thing, but on the other hand, we also have North Aurora days right there in that parking lot, and we let the bands go past 10 o'clock. So I mean, there's a lot to be said for letting the business be a good neighbor and not mandating what time they can have their band.
They were just, for the record, they were the ones who proposed the time when we were talking to them during the.
I mean, I don't care who proposed it. I just think it's arbitrary. I don't want to hamstring us and tie our hands with this for future restaurants or bars that want to have the, do the same thing. I just don't think we should be mandating what time they need to stop at. There's such a good thing as being a good neighbor. If they get enough complaints, they're going to want to be a good neighbor, you would hope, and they would take steps necessary for mitigation.
If I could just,
These are businesses that are trying to recover from a pandemic. We need to give them every speed bump out of the way.
Well,
if I could just add something real quick. I think the biggest issue is the location of it, with houses being right behind it. Those are the ones that when we do get noise complaints there that are calling. There's silver trails right behind them. And this business location versus something like a hardware, or a place like that that's a little bit further away from any residential areas. I think that is probably the biggest issue, is their location.
Chief, since you mentioned that, the noise complaints what were they doing before? Were they playing till like 2 a.m, and that was the complaint?
I was looking it up, and the majority of the complaints came well after, like, say 10 o'clock. Most of them were like around 11 and after, and it was for loud music because they were they had a mariachi band in there at least once or twice, I know. And typically on nights before the band would come on, there would be a DJ playing, and it was the people right behind them that could hear it. But again, it was well after 10 o'clock. Most of them were around like 11 o'clock and after.
Well, and this doesn't apply to a DJ. They can do whatever they want with the DJ, right?
no,
No, not with their original license. I think it was no DJ and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but like a duo act, like 2 people, so not like a full band.
Correct.
Oh.
Well, the business obviously seems to be okay with it. I think we give it a try and see how it works out.
well, that's the best we can do at this point.
Yeah.
I think fine, we could pass this, and we could talk with them about attempting to eliminate noise, and then, make a test thing in the future. We can always do that.
Well, and then
Yeah.
we can extend the time if the noise barrier works.
So we
I
can.
mean,
Yeah.
When this thing was approved, though, that mall there, I don't think I didn't envision like a nightclub atmosphere. It was more family restaurants and things. So, I think this is different than original thought of it. So I'm okay at 10 o'clock. If I lived behind there, I wouldn't be real happy with it. It's a restaurant. They have good food and they have good prices and fill the place up. But to have the bands there and the different things, it's a whole different animal to me.
Yeah, it is. It's not like Fox Gardens. It's not like the entertainment that used to be down at the bowling alley, or some of those other places that are out into the area that had plenty of room. And
Right.
we've had it in the past. There's always been problems, no matter wherever and whenever a large group of people congregate. I don't care where it is, but we always have problems. So. But I think that 10 o'clock is a good start.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
Trustee Curtis,
Yes.
Trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
and Trustee Lowry.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Item number 6, Mr. Toth.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Item number 6 and 7 on the agenda tonight pertain to the Orchard Commons development. It would be for the immediate development of the Fortunata Restaurant on Lot 3 with the deviations that were discussed by the Committee of the Whole at the last meeting. Also having Plan Commission support for the public hearing that was on October 6th. And also the microbrewery on Lot 8, which is currently the hop farm. So item number 6 tonight is the ordinance approving the third amendment to the Orchard Commons pre-annexation agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis,
Yes.
trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
yes,
and trustee Lowry.
Yes.
And then item number 6, Mike, or 7, excuse me.
Yeah, item number 7 is approval of an ordinance amending a special use as a B2 PUD commercial plan development known as the Orchard Commons development.
Motion to approve.
motion,
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis,
Yes.
trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
yes,
and trustee Lowry.
Yes.
Very good. I have no old business as far as the village president. This next week is National Veteran Small Business Week. I got a note from U.S. Rep. Underwood. It's the 7th year that it had this, and they're trying to raise awareness to veterans in the small business ownership. So there's something on the internet every day this week. If you can look at it at sba.gov/NBSBW. So in case you're interested, any trustee comments?
I have a comment or a question, I guess, for Chief Fisher. Given the closure of the restaurants in Kane County, what are we doing to enforce the governor's order, if anything, with our restaurants?
Well, right now what we're doing is we're forwarding, if we have information that somebody's staying open or not abiding by it, there's the Kane County Sheriff's Office in cooperation with the Kane County Health Department have a task force, and we've been forwarding any information to them to let them make the call on it. Typically, it's the health department that would come in and shut them down, or typically it's a warning first, and then they would take action beyond that.
And so we're not issuing any sort of citations or anything like that ourselves from the village.
No, we're not.
Correct.
Good.
Correct. We're not.
The health department is going to warn them, they're going to fine them, and then if have to, they'll go through the effort of taking a liquor license. In most cases, that would be the only thing we have to do. So, but we are not instituting any action ourselves in that. We're turning it all over to the county.
Good.
Any other questions? Mr. Bosco?
Just one reminder that we are having, due to COVID, we are having our virtual Veterans Day ceremony, and that will be on Veterans Day as usual, and we are going to post it on the village's website and Facebook page. And I appreciate all the submittals from the board, and we've gotten some submittals from external parties of the village as well. So we're putting it together right now.
I think it'd be good. I hope that it's well attended. Mr. Attorney?
I have no report.
Mr. Hannah, Finance?
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Toth, Community Development?
No report, Mayor.
Chief?
No report tonight, sir.
And Public Works?
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. No executives. Motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We're adjourned. Call to start quickly.